Hi, good night. Welcome everyone to the Fit Mass Show. I'm your host, Jason Craig. Super pumped, super excited to be here. We're going to be kicking this thing off in about 2 minutes. Just giving a few folks some time to jump on, and then we'll be starting this show. Now, if you join us here, put in the comments where you join us from. I always like to know where you guys are coming in from, and we'll kick this thing off. All right? Let me just send a couple messages here. Last call. All right, here we go. Let me just turn this up a bit quickly. All right, there we go. Ah, that's better. That's much better. All right. Good stuff, good stuff. So we are all here. We got what, like 1 minute before we kick this thing off? All right. Nice, nice, nice. So we're gonna be kicking this show off in full spirits tonight. We got Edlin from Grenada. Good to have you. Welcome, welcome. We got our fan base kicking in. Awesome. 1 more minute, and we're gonna be kicking it off. Don't forget to share this video. Bring your friends on, send out the WhatsApp message that I sent you, forward it to your contacts, get them into this one. We're going to be talking about detox tonight. So it's definitely going to be a hot topic. And of course, I'm going to be dropping some bombs as to how y'all can actually detox your body right from home. So definitely stay tuned for that. Get your notes out, your notepad. Let's get into this thing. All right. Here we go. We top of the hour. It's time to start. So welcome everyone to the Fit Mass Show. I am your host, Jason Craig, and I am super excited to be here. Now, in tonight's episode, this is going to be the last of the detox series. You know, we've been looking at detox, some of the ways in which chemicals can come into your body and what it does when it gets there. So tonight's going to be a little bit different because I'm going to actually share with you how you can actually remove some of this, detoxify your body right from home, and some really simple strategies, methods that you can actually use. Don't mind me fidgeting. I just want to make sure I get this thing all right. Yeah, so there we go. All right, so yes, we're going to be looking at that tonight. But before we do that, you know, we have to find out where are you, ladies and gentlemen, signing in from. So go ahead in the comments below. Let me pull the comments up. Let me know where you're signing in from, so that I can give you a shout out, a personal shout out, because I'm so excited to get into this topic, man. It is amazing. And, you know, I'm going to keep it brief, to the point. I just want you to get nuggets and, more importantly, implement them, because without implementation, you are not going to get any results. So you just joined us for the first time. Where are you signing in from? Put it in the comments below. I always like to know where my audience is. If you are following us on Facebook, go ahead and hit that thumbs up, smash the heart, smash some solid motion. Let's get this thing rolling. And also share it in your wall so others can also be part of this show. If you join us on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be the first to know whenever we release new videos. And go ahead and share it out. Get others on here so we can kick this thing off tonight. All right, so we got St. Vincent, right? We got Bernard from St. Vincent, Edwin from Grenada, we got St. Lucia, we got Antigua, Barbados, US. Awesome. Okay, so we got quite an audience here tonight. So we're gonna be kicking this thing off one time. Same way still. Not gonna stick too much because I know you ladies have to get ready for work tomorrow, so I wouldn't hold you up too much. All right, so I decided to title this one, How to Detoxify Your Body. Because one thing to learn about the effects of a body that has been bombarded with different toxins from different sources. But eventually, what you really want to know is how do you get rid of those toxins? And that's what we're going to be looking at here tonight in this episode. So get your pen out, get your paper. There's some notes you're going to be needed to take so that you can really get the most out of it. Because, you know, sometimes you listen to these talks and then life happens. Sometimes information gets lost. But if you have it documented, you can always go back to it and you can go from there. So the story is told of this lady who went to her doctor. And she went to her doctor not for cold, not for aches, not for pains, not for high blood pressure or anything like that. But she went to her doctor because she was suffering with, if you would put it a nice way, high body odor. And she couldn't figure out where was this body odor coming from. What was it caused? She tried everything. She tried bathing 3 times a day, changing her perfume, deodorant. Nothing seemed to work. And so she came to the doctor, explaining him, hey, this is what I'm doing. I'm trying all these methods, but my body odor is just too strong and nothing is working. So doctor sat down with her, and he's here trying to figure this thing out. I mean, what are you doing? Has anything changed? And he just could not get to the cause of this lady's high body odor. Now, because of work, he had to leave and travel across country. And as he got on the flight, he met the flight attendant. And this doctor also writes books, right? So the flight attendant recognized him and they started talking. And she was just super excited to meet the author of one of the books she'd been reading. And she'd been sharing with him some of the things that she has been doing. And one of those things is that she changed her diet. She actually went to a vegetarian diet. But then from doing that, she shared with him something that really changed her life. She said that she was really suffering from high body odor as well. And since she changed to a vegetarian diet, not only does she not suffer with body odor, but she doesn't even have to wear deodorant. And then it clicked. He was like, I had a client come in the other day. And of course, he's saying this to himself. And I never thought about that. I never thought about finding out what she was eating. And so after he completed this trip across country and head back home, he called this client. He was like, okay, you need to come into my office. We need to talk. We need to talk. We need to sit down and talk. So the client came into his office and he said, yes, I remember you told me last time we had here about the body odor issue that you were having. I just got something to ask you. What is your diet like? What are you eating? And she began to tell him what she eats. And what he discovered was that her diet was extremely high in red meat and pork. So he decided, he said, okay, let's try something. Let's just try something. We're just going to do it for a few weeks, all right? We're just going to try something. So they decided together that we're going to just cut out the red meat for the next few weeks and also the pork, right? Just cut it out. I'm not telling you to go fully plant-based, but let's just cut out the red meat and the pork. And he was just anticipating it. Scheduled her next appointment to come in the next 2 weeks to see what were the results. And as the time progressed, he was just like anticipating what is going to happen, what is going to happen. And then she showed up and it was judgment time, if you want to call it that. So she actually came in and they sat down to talk. And he said, okay, so tell me what happened. How after changing out your diet, after taking out the red meat, after taking out the pork, what happened? And he saw a glow on her face and she was like, it's strange because the body odor disappeared. And he was like, no, you're kidding. Are you for real? Okay. So they decided to just extend the training a little bit more, extend the protocol a little bit more. And she came back after again another 2 weeks. And lo and behold, the body odor was gone. Not only that, she also reduced her usage of deodorants. So it was then he realized that there was something in her diet, specifically the red meat and pork, that was causing her body odor to go up. And with that, she decided to change her diet, to drop the red meat, to drop the pork out of her diet. And from then onwards, her high body odor disappeared. Now, you're probably wondering, why did I tell you this story? You see, most of the times, our bodies are toxic and they are sending out alarms to tell us that something is not right. And in tonight's episode, we're going to be looking at some of those alarms that your body sends out to tell you that you may be highly toxic, right? And you may be in need of a detoxification. Actually, what they also found is that there's a strong correlation between eating a lot of red meat and specifically pork and levels of toxification in the body. And this lady's situation was not an isolated one. There were many other persons like this, where after coming off the red meat and pork, especially pork, their condition, their body odor cleared up. So tonight's episode, I'm going to be sharing with you some of the methods that you can use to really help to detoxify your body, right? And I'm also going to be looking at some of the problems that are associated with high toxicity, some of the alarms that might be going off that you may be ignoring, and it may be a warning to tell you that, hey, you need a detox. All right, so let's jump into this thing and let's go from there. Now, toxicity is a problem that we can't totally eliminate, because as we discovered in the last training, it comes in so many forms: in the air we breathe, in the clothes we put on, in the chair we are sitting on, in the vehicle we're driving. It comes in. So to totally avoid becoming toxic is impossible. However, what we can do is, just like our house, clean it regularly so that toxicity does not build up and become detrimental. Because when it does, it can become somewhat fatal, especially if left untreated. And there's a story again in Florida. The place is called Lake Apoca. And in 1980, they had a pesticide spill, right? And what they noticed is that the animals that lived in that pond started becoming affected. Specifically the crocodiles. Now the female crocodiles will develop certain reproductive disorders, as well as the male crocodiles. And then when it got worse, is where there were female turtles, and then there were turtles that were neither male nor female. So their reproductive organs did not develop. And as a result, it would have definitely affected the reproduction process, and so the amount of turtles, that were able to populate that pond. And that was just a simple chemical spill in Lake Apoca in Florida. And these pesticides, right, when they get into our body and interact with our tissues and cells, they cause some adverse effects that it would shock you to know exactly what happens. It may even freak you out so much that you may be afraid to eat chemically laden foods. But that is not my goal. My goal is not to scare you, but I just want to share with you how dangerous these toxins can be if left untreated. And some of the signs that you may know that you are toxic is, one of them is chronic fatigue, or you're always low on energy. Now, before I continue, this is for, I have to give you a disclaimer, this is for information, educational purposes only. This is not meant to replace or be any advice in as a healthcare professional. So this is just for educational purposes. If you have to make any changes, please consult with your healthcare professional. Now that is out of the way. So some of the cases that are associated with high toxicity is chronic fatigue, low energy. You're always tired. You always, like, it doesn't matter what you do. You sleep, you wake up, you're still tired. You take multivitamins, you're still tired. You exercise, you're still tired. You eat healthy, you're still tired. It doesn't matter what you do, you are still tired. And that could be one of the indicators of high levels of toxicity in your body. Another thing that high levels of toxicity can cause is heart disease, right? And that is because as toxicity goes up, inflammation as well goes up, and inflammation is related to heart disease. And next one, this is a big one, memory loss. This is a big one. When you find like you're having foggy memory, you just can't remember where you put those keys, where you put that blender, where you put that pen, where you left your wallet. Everything just is like a big blur. Or you are in a lecture, you're in a classroom, you're reading a book, and it's just like a big blur. That could be a sign that your toxicity levels are a little bit high. And next one is premature aging. So you see somebody is 33, but they're looking like they're close to 50. That could be a sign that there are high levels of toxicity in your body. Now, before I go on, if this thing is making sense, let me know in the chat if this thing making sense. All right, go ahead in the chat and tell me this thing is making all the sense in the world. All right, and next one is, of course, body odor. As we discussed, not just body odor, but bad breath, right? So these are two symptoms that can be associated with high levels of toxicity in the body. And let me just name a couple more. Skin disorders, so you're having like these outbreaks in your skin, because you have to remember your skin is an organ and toxins also escape through your skin. So in the effort to expel these toxins, you are getting certain rashes on your skin. It could be an indication of toxicity levels. Arthritis as well, because again, arthritis is an inflammation, a high inflammation related disease. And as we know, high levels of toxicity lead to high inflammation, which will be the spin-off of diseases like heart disease, arthritis, and the likes. Hormone imbalances, and I coach primarily women, and this is a big one. Hormonal imbalances. And ladies, some of these toxicity comes in very strange ways, so to speak, right? Because some of the same things that you are using to help your hormones are actually putting toxicity in your body. For example, birth controls. Like birth controls, that is one of those things that will bring up the levels of toxicity and will actually throw your hormones out of whack. So if you find you're suffering hormonal imbalance, if you find you're suffering with 2 or 3 of these things that I just mentioned, you may have to check your healthcare professional and really get some blood work done to see what sort of levels of heavy metals or those things that are in your body. And next one is headaches. You're always getting headaches. You don't suffer with migraine. You are drinking water, but you're still getting headaches. That's one. Anxiety, that's the next one. Emotional disorders. So now you see when we are moving into the brain here, we having headaches, we having anxiety, we having emotional disorders. And emotional disorders can also be linked to hormonal imbalances. So that's the thing with toxicity, ladies. When you are toxic, it not only affects the organ in your body that is responsible for removing the toxicity, which is the liver, it affects the entire body. The entire body is affected because remember, the blood transports these toxins to other parts of the body. And these things get lodged there, and then after time, they start degenerating the body. And if you do not take them out, then it gets even worse. So that is why toxicity is such a big issue, and that is why I want to spend some time on it here tonight. Even in my weight loss clients, it's actually something I started to recommend now. When we start the program, or even somewhere in the middle of the program, we run a detoxification. We do a detox. And these detox, as you will see to the end, doesn't always have to be taking something aggressive like Sene or the salt water detox. They call it poor man's detox. It doesn't have to be that aggressive. I can show you some other ways in which you can slowly and gently detox your body. Now, if this thing is making sense, come on, give me some likes, give me some hearts, give me some cares, whatever these emojis are. Give me something there. Put some comments in the chat. Let's shoot this thing up. If this thing is making sense, tell me, Jason, this thing making all the sense in the world. I got that from Luke Brown. my dear brother in there in Antigua. All right, so yes, and next one is of course cancers and autoimmune diseases. So these are some of the list of the things that happens when your toxicity levels are high. Now, for the big question, my toxicity level may be high. A couple of these things that you listed out, Jason, I am experiencing 1, 2, or even 3 of them. How can I fix that? Now, if you want to hear the solution to that, give me a 2 in the comments below. I'm waiting for those 2s. I'm waiting for those 2s before we actually begin. Go ahead, give me a 2 in the comments below, and I will give you these methods in which you can use to start detoxifying your body. All right, so go ahead in the comments below, give me a 2. Let's get the chat lined up. Let's get the chat fired up. Jeff Glass, good to have you. It's been a while. Good to have you. Shabaka, Sherilyn, sorry. Shadina, good to have you. I'm actually going into the chat. Angela, Francis. All right, right. So I'm getting 2s. All right, it's coming up. Right, that's it. Come on, let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it rolling. Right, don't forget to smash those emojis as well. Right. So let's reverse engineer this thing. Right? How did the toxins come into our body in the first place? They came in. Actually, let me test your knowledge. Give me in the chat 1 way in which the toxins came into the body. One of the ways. I give you guys many. Just give me one of them in the chat below. Right? Just give me one of the ways in which toxins enter your body. Let me see who will be first. Who will be hitting it on the money? Who will be first to give me the correct answer, or one of the correct answers, because there are multiple ways in which toxins enter your body. Just give me one. There are plenty of them. So you go ahead and give me one in the comments below. Yes, I want to keep it engaging tonight. I can't just spew information. I want to make sure that you're there. I want to make sure that you're listening. I want to make sure, more importantly, that you are engaging, right? Because that is where it is at. Perfect. Okay, so somebody put through the food we eat, right? So let's reverse engineer this thing, right? Before we take the toxins out, we need to first identify how are they coming in. So one is via the foods we eat. Shabaka, very good. Through your skin, right? Annabella and Edlin, through the food you eat, very good, right? Through the air we breathe. So these are the different pathways in which toxins enter the body. So with that being said, let's tackle each and every one of them. All right. So the first one is through the food we eat. And if the toxins enter into the food, then we also have to now use food or the mouth to get these toxins out. And there are a couple ways in which we can do it. Number one is by ensuring that we are drinking clean water. Clean distilled water. Water out of your tap is not clean distilled water. It is loaded with chlorine, right? Or in some countries, fluoride, which, as I would have alluded to in earlier training, has some detrimental side effects, right? So if at all possible, invest in a faucet-mounted water filter, right? And a company, you know, Brita has them as well, or Purina, I believe that's their name. So these companies have water filters that you can just adjust, or you can just attach to your faucet. So when you turn it on, the filter comes on, and that's a basic place to start. Not until you go and get nothing expensive, right? So that's a good place to start. Or even if you have the pitchers where you pour the water in and it filters out, start there. So when you're doing that now, you are now bringing in pure distilled water. You're not bringing in any more of those heavy metals. And what that is going to do, that's going to start by flushing the kidneys, and all of the buildups are there is going to start moving it out, right? So that's through water. Next one is going to be eating more high fiber foods, right? And high fiber foods, as we know, only come from the plant kingdom. Now, in case you didn't know, animals do not contain fiber, right? So the only place you can get fiber is from plant foods. And one of the foods that are highest in fiber are beans, actually. Most people think it's like lettuce or that sort of green stuff. No, it's actually beans. Beans have some of the highest fiber content. So if you can add some of that into your meals, then that is going to help with removing the toxins. And you might be wondering, Jason, how does the fiber remove the toxins? So basically, fiber, your body doesn't ingest fiber, it doesn't digest fiber, right? It digests the other parts of the product of the plant, but not the fiber. So then you're probably wondering what's the purpose of the fiber. Now there are many benefits of the fiber. I'm just going to talk about the detoxification purpose. And don't forget to hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that heart button while we're here. All right. So the fiber, you have to think of it like a brush. So as the food moves through your digestive tract, these fiber act like brushes and they scrub the digestive wall. So some of the toxins and stuff that are lodged in that digestive tract, in your small intestines, in large intestines, it gets binds to the fiber and it passes out through your, when you use the bathroom. All right. So that's the purpose of having high fiber. Now, if you don't have high fiber, all of this toxicity, all of this sludge will be building up in your GI tract. And anything builds up after a while it blocks. And when it blocks, all hell breaks loose. So just get your fiber in. All right? Y'all be cool. Now, if you could, as much as possible, eat organic foods. And organic simply means we haven't used any man-made chemicals or pesticides or that kind of stuff to grow this food, right? So if you could eat more organic food, more wild-caught meats like wild-caught fish, wild-caught cattle or free-range cattle, not anything in a farm, because when you're in farm, everything is controlled and the foods they eat are designed to get them fatter and ready for the market in the shortest possible time. Now, when they are in nature, they take their time and develop. When they are in a farm, they are raised there. What do you think they're putting in the food to make that happen? Is that something you want in your body? Are you now beginning to see why our young ladies are developing so fast? Because of the foods they are eating, right? And why our young men are developing sort of strange growths and all kind of stuff is because of the foods that we are eating. So if you could eat organic, that is going to reduce all of the chemical load that you will be intaking into your body. A point on fish. Deep sea fishes, so like the swordfish and the marlin, these live in the deep part of the ocean. And these fishes tend to be higher on the heavy metals, right? So like lead, mercury, they tend to be higher in those metals. So if you could avoid or limit your consumption of deep sea fish, then that would also reduce some of that toxic load in your body. Now, with that being said, the next thing you can do is eat the rainbow of vegetables. So eat vegetables of all different colors. And of course, if you could keep that organically grown, better yet, if you can start a home garden, kudos to you, because then you will have an ample supply always coming. But yeah, you want to be eating the rainbow because you see, these fruits and vegetables contain antioxidants and phytonutrients. All these will help with the metabolic functions, also help with the detoxification process, also help with the fiber loading, so that your body can really expel this stuff out. It will also help to alkalize your body. And if you know, the more acidic your body is, right, it is a breeding ground for most diseases. The more alkaline your body is, it is better for longevity, detoxification, and also weight loss, right? Now, your body also always maintains a balance. It doesn't get too alkaline or too acid, but you want it to be more towards the alkaline side, all right? So that's what the fruits and the vegetables will tend to do, right? So, everybody with me so far? Before I continue, everybody with me so far? Is the thing making sense? Is this making sense? Let me know. Put in the chat below. Is this thing making sense? Okay, so Shabaka asked a question. White or silver fish contain, oh, he's telling me, white or silver fish contains plenty heavy metal. I'm not sure which one you're alluding to, but if you're talking about the same thing, we're talking about the swordfish and also the marlin. Now, I could probably see where Shabaka is going with this. Also, depending on where the fish hang out, so even if they are not these type of fishes, depending on where the fish hang out, it could be an area that is loaded with heavy metals. So like close to industrial plants, so I'm talking to like those persons who live in industrialized countries where the industrialized waste comes right out into the water and the fish hang out around there, they are going to ingest this, and this is also going to become part of your diet, right? So Shabaka, yes, if that's the direction you're going, then definitely that makes sense. So we have touched on the cavities, the oral cavity, making sure that we ingest stuff that will help with detoxification. We're almost home. The next thing is going to be the skin. So remember, the skin also takes in toxins, so we're going to have to let toxins out. And how do we do it? By sweating. The more you sweat, the more toxins you let out. You clean your lymphatic system, you get that toxin out of your body. And that is why it is always good to at least enjoy some level of sunlight per day, right? So don't be locked up in an AC room all day long. That is not healthy. Get out in the sunlight. The sunlight also helps with vitamin D synthesis, and it also helps to sweat. It also helps to get those toxins out. If it is possible, engage in some sort of exercise, because when you exercise, you also sweat and you also detoxify your body. Now, there is something that is called dry brushing. So it's like a brush, and you scrub your skin. Remember, your skin is also an organ. So these pores, when you scrub, you actually clear the pores. And what you will find when you do dry brushing is that you'll actually sweat more, because you're now clearing up the pores. So we're moving speedily along. The next thing is to clean your air. Now, I know this is not something I have to tell anyone here, but I will have to mention it because we are dealing with the different portals by which the toxin comes in. So I'll just mention it. And that is to ensure that you keep your house or your living quarters clean. Simple. You know, because if you do not do that, then you will create a breeding ground for different bacteria, both airborne and also those that are non-airborne. And that will be coming into your respiratory tract, bringing toxins in, especially garbage that sits around. You want to ensure that garbage, if your garbage comes once a week, then at least move it a little way away from your house, right? So this way, that foul air and these toxic fumes are not re-inhaled and taken into your body. Dust your surroundings, keep the place clean, and if there is a need to, grab an air filter so you can also help with clearing of the air, because there are some persons who are living in an industrialized region. I'm thinking right off the bat, someplace like Brooklyn, right, where the air, as much as you do inside, the air coming in is going to be polluted, because there are also vehicles, there are all fumes. It's just a city, a total metropolitan, and that's the kind of air you get there. So in a case like that, you may need to get an air filter and just ensure that you clean the air filter. If you have an air condition, ensure that you are cleaning the air filter in the air condition to make sure that you're getting the cleanest possible air. And we are on the topic of chemicals. So there are certain chemicals we have to use to clean our homes, right? And some of these will be things like Clorox and these sort of stuff. Now, if you can get some organic cleaners. And let me give you a good organic cleaner for Clorox. You can actually use vinegar, like white vinegar, and squeeze some lime in it and add some baking soda. That does a great job in cleaning and also disinfecting the premise which it will touch. The good thing about that, it doesn't have any side effects to you. Now, you can take one smell of Clorox and realize that is nothing that should be in your body. However, if you're touching it with your naked hands, and our skin is porous, it actually gets into our skin, right? So that's something you can do. And you can also go on Google or YouTube and look for organic cleaners, homemade organic cleaners, and there are different formulas that will pop up using safe chemicals to actually clean your home. And the last one is one that I have tested myself and a majority of my clients have used, and that is fasting. Fasting is a powerful detoxification tool, right? I have seen ladies lose weight permanently with fasting, and I have seen ladies reverse certain health conditions with fasting. That is how I know for sure that when you are toxic, other diseases follow. So when you detoxify, those diseases have to go. Really, that simple. But what fasting does, right? Fasting actually, remember, let me just explain something to you. The toxins in your body that your body does not get rid of, they get stored in a certain part of the body, and that is your fatty tissues, your fatty cells, right? Your fatty cells. So some of the fatty cells are like your brain, for ladies, the breast area. These are fatty cells, and that's why you find that with high toxicity, you get the brain fog, and also things like breast cancer can fall, right? There are other fatty cells, but those are some of the main ones. So when they do not get expelled, they just stay there. And then more come in, accumulate. Some of that tires that you have on your side could be packages of toxins. So when you fast, what fasting does, fasting gives these cells a chance to offload those toxins. So when you fast, your cells actually offload those toxins and dump them. So both those toxins and also toxins that would have come from metabolic functions. The cell actually offloads those and they get passed out of the system. If you do it long enough, you experience cell autophagy as well, which is basically cells repairing and rebuilding, forming new cells. And all this helps with the regeneration process. That's why I find persons who practice fasting regularly will look younger than someone who doesn't, because their cells are always being cleaned out and regenerated at a faster rate, right? So their skin is tighter, they have that more youthful look, and diseases are not prevalent with them. So fasting is definitely something I recommend. I know I'm not going to leave you hanging. So if you want to start, you can start off with something called time-restricted eating. And that is just not eating for a certain period in the day and then eating thereafter. So normally the easiest way to do it will be in the night. So let's say most persons finish dinner by 7 p.m. They have the next breakfast by 7 a.m. That's 12 hours of fasting you're doing daily. What you can do is work your way up. So the next day you can eat an hour later, or the night before eat an hour earlier. And try and work your way up to, if you can get up to about 16 hours of fasting daily. Every now and then, if you can do a full day of fast, like a 24-hour, that will be awesome. Because once you break that 24-hour mark, then you start experiencing those cell autophagy, where the cells actually start to die. The old cells die and new cells are born. All right? And then, of course, while you're doing that 16-hour, your body is dumping all of this toxic waste out, right? So these are some of the strategies that you can use to detoxify your body. In terms of specific supplements, you can message me for those. I wouldn't want to give them on this forum here just because of the nature of it. Like I said, I have to put that disclaimer there. Please check with the healthcare professional, and any advice in regards to that will be from them. All right. So hope you ladies enjoy the show tonight. And before I wrap it up, just to make sure that you enjoy it, why don't you give me one thing that... Oh, there are questions in the chat. Sorry, I'm not seeing those. Okay. Okay, so the fish that does not have heavy metal. Generally speaking, it's the easiest way to do it. The fishes that have heavy metal are the bigger, larger fishes. These are the ones that live further out in the ocean. These are the ones that are loaded with heavy metals. The smaller fish, the better it is, generally speaking, right? Now this is provided if the small fish does not live at the mouth of a industrial factory or a factory or something that pours all the waste in the water, right? But generally speaking, the smaller fish, the more healthy it is, or the less toxins it has, and the bigger the fish, the more it has. Let me give you a next topic. Let me give you the next thing when it comes to the fish. Fishes with scale and fins tend to absorb less toxins than fishes without. So you say, well, just you're Adventist, you must say that. No, not at all. Not at all. It was part of the dietary laws of the ancient Jewish people, and yes, we do adopt it, but research it and you will find it for yourself. Fishes with scales and fins, especially those with scales, they tend to absorb less toxins from the sea than fishes without. So fishes with scales would be things like tuna, snapper, redfish, Kovali, I believe, right? Fishes without scale would be things like shark, crayfish, lobster, crab, these tend to absorb more of the toxins from the sea. So that's also something you can use. All right. Hope that makes sense. You ladies have an awesome night, and gentlemen, yes, Shabba can definitely steer from pond raised or factory raised, not only fish, but anything. Pond raised or factory raised chicken, meat, any sort of stuff like that. You want to steer from factory raised. All right. Anyway, y'all have a great evening. Thank you so much for being here on the Fit Max Show. Have yourselves an awesome night and stay blessed. Implement some of these topics and free your body from these toxins so that you can enjoy a long and healthy life. Remember, if it's your first time here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you're on Facebook, hit that follow. Share this video around. Let's get the information out. And until our next show, have yourselves an awesome night.